In this video, we are going to talk about the measure of central tendency. And under this, we are going to look at the meaning of the measure of central tendency, how to obtain the central tendency of a dataset, the meaning of mean, median, and mode, and work example on mean, median, and mode. The big question is, what is the measure of central tendency? Measure of central tendency is defined as a number that is used to represent the center or middle of a set of data values. That is, when we have a set of data values and we are told to find the measure of central tendency, what we are actually looking for among that data set is the middle or center of the data values. Now, how do we obtain central tendency of a data? The central tendency of a data can be obtained using the most important measure, which are the mean, the median, and the mode. If you followed up our lesson, we have already talked about all these three measures. I told you that the mean is known as the average, while the median is the middle number when we arrange our numbers, our data set, and the elements in our data set in an ascending order, while the mode is the most occurring element, the most occurring values among our data set. That is the mode. Now, how do we calculate the mean? Mean is calculated using this formula, summation x all over n, where summation x is the sum of all the values in the data set and n is the total numbers of values. Are you getting it? That is the formula that we're going to use to calculate the mean. Okay, let's have some work example on mean. Example 1. Calculate the mean of the following data. The first question. Solution. Don't forget that mean is given by this formula. X bar is equals to summation x all over n. This is the formula for calculating the mean of an ungrouped data, where summation x is the sum of all the observation. And if you look at this, question number 1, we are having how many observation? We are having 5 observation, and n is the numbers of observation. Are you getting it? So let's proceed. The sum of all the observation is the sum of all the values in our data set. So I'm going to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all over the numbers of observation, the numbers of the values in our data set. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n is what? 5. If you sum this together, you're going to have 15. 15 divided by 5, that is equals to 3. So the value of the mean of this data is what? 3. You understand? So question B. The formula for mean is what? Summation x all over n. Summation x is the sum of all the observations. So I'm going to have 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8 plus 4 and plus 7. So all over the total numbers of observation. The total numbers of observation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all over 7. So if you sum this together, you are going to get 35. So for this, I'm going to have 35 all over 7. 35 divided by 7 is 5. So the mean of this data is what? 5. You understand? So let's proceed to the third question. Question C. That we are still going to use the same formula, which is what? Summation x all over n. So I'm going to have x bar is equals to the summation x is the sum of all the values in data set. So I'm going to have 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 3 plus 2 all over the total numbers of values in our data set. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The total number is what? 9. So when you sum this together, you are going to get 14. 14 divided by 9, that is 1.55. So the mean of this data is 1.55. So I want you to attempt this question D. and drop your answers in the comment box. Okay, let's take a look at some past questions concerning this subtopic, the mean of an ungrouped data. So I want you to watch this video till the end and pay attention as I solved each questions, okay? We have question number 1. The weight of 5 guests in kilogram are 48, x, 52, 50, and 2x minus 5. If their average weight is 45 kg, find the weight of the girl that has the heaviest weight. Don't forget, to find the weight of the girl that have the heaviest weight, we first need to determine the value of x. You understand? We first need to determine the value of x in order to find the weight of the girl that have the heaviest weight. And don't forget that in our previous lesson we learned what is meant by average. Of course, average in statistics means mean. We are talking about the mean of a data when we talk about the average of that data. So now let us proceed. Solution. So they have given us that the average weight of these 5 girls is what? 45 kilograms. So the mean is equals to 45 kilogram. And we have the data that they gave us. The data for the weight of the girls that they gave us is 48. We have 48 x 52, 50, and 2x minus 5. You understand? Okay, now since we know that the mean, which is the average, is what? 45 kilogram, we can proceed to use the formula for mean. Don't forget that mean is given by this formula. X bar is equals to summation x all over n, where summation x is the sum of all the observation. In this case, the observation that we have here are the kilogram, the weight of the girls in kilogram. So the observation is 5. The observation is the sum of 48x, 52, 50, and 2x minus 5. Now let us proceed to use this formula to get the value of x. Now I'm going to equate from this formula. I have mean. This is mean. You understand? So mean, which is what? 45. So I'm going to have 45 is equals to the summation x, which are the sum of all the observations. So I'm going to add all the observation that they gave me in the question. So I'm going to have 48 plus x plus 52 plus 50 plus 2x minus 5. You understand? All over n. N is the total numbers of observation. And I told you that in this case, the observation are the weight of the girls in kilograms. So the total n is what? 5. So I'm going to have 5. You understand? Okay, now let us proceed. So 45 multiplied by 5, that is 225, is equals to 48 plus x plus 52 plus 50 plus 2x minus 5. You understand? So 48 plus 52 plus 50, that will give me 150. 150 plus x plus 2x minus 5. So I'm going to have 225 is equals to 150 minus 5. That is 145 plus x plus 2x. So 225, if this 145 cos this 225 equals to sign, it becomes minus 145. So I'm going to have x plus 2x, that is 3x. So 225 minus 145, that is 80. So 80 is equals to 3x. If you divide both sides by 3, x is equals to 26.67. So x approximately is equals to 27. You understand? So the value of x is 27. Now let us go back to the question. We are given that the weight of the 5 girls are 48. Let me rewrite it. We have 48 x. So instead of writing x, I'm going to write x as 27. So we have 27, then we have 52, then 50, then we have 2x minus 5. Now don't forget that the value of x is 27. So for this, I'm going to have 2x minus 5. So I'm going to have 2 into bracket 27 minus 5. 2 multiplied by 27, that is what? 54. 54 minus 5 is equals to 49. So the weight of the last girl is what? 49. Now, don't forget that the weight is in kilogram, and we are told to find the girl that has the heaviest weight. The first girl has 48 kilogram as her weight, the second 27, the third 52, the fourth 50, the fifth is 49. Now, among this value of this weight, which one is greater? You can see that we have 52 as the highest weight, so the third girl has the highest weight with 52 kilogram. Thank you very much for watching the video. Now let us proceed to question number 2. Question 2. The average cost of 20 articles is 213 naira. The average cost of the first 9 is 115 naira. Find the average cost of the remaining article. To solve this question, we first need to determine the total sum of all the articles. Are you getting it? We first need to determine the total sum of all the articles. Now, let the total sum of the articles, let the total sum of the articles is equals to x. You understand? Now, we have let the total sum of the articles is equals to x. Now, don't forget that the formula for mean is what? Summation fx. You must always remember this formula when you are dealing with mean. It is very, very important that you remember this. Summation x all over n. So the average is what? X bar. You understand? And summation x is the sum of all the articles, and n is the total numbers of articles. Now we have let the total sum of the articles is equals to x. So for this, I know that the average cost is what? Average cost is 213. So I'm going to have 213 because average is what? Mean. So 213 is equals to summation x. I've let the total sum of the articles is equals to x. So is equals to x all over n. N is the total numbers of articles, and the total numbers of articles is what? 20. So I'm going to have 20 in this place. So get the value of x by cross multiplying this over 1. X multiplied by 1, that is x. 213 multiplied by 20, that will give us 4,260. So I'm going to have 4,260. So I have got the summation of all the articles. Are you getting it? Now, having gotten the summation of all the articles, I still need to determine the sum of the first 9. You understand? Don't forget that the question asks us to find the average cost of the remaining articles. That is the average cost of the articles that remains. And after we have subtracted the sum of the articles. Now, having gotten the sum of the total articles, which is 4,260. Now let us get the sum of the first 9 articles. Sum of the first 9. You understand? So let the sum of the first 9 of the articles is equals to y. You understand? So, and they told us that the average of the first 9 is what? 115, and average is mean. So we are still going to employ the main formula. So I'm going to have x bar, which is the average for the 9 article, that is 115. 115 is equals to summation of all the 9 articles, and I have told you that we have left the sum of the first 9 is equals to y. So I'm going to have y all over n. N is the total numbers of the articles, that is y all over 9, because we are dealing with the first 9, sum of the first 9 now. Are you getting it? So in order to get your y, you have to multiply 9 multiply 15. If you punch your calculator, you are going to get 1,035. So for this, 1,035. So the sum of all the articles is 4,260. The sum of the first 9 is 1,035. Now, how do we determine the average cost of the remaining articles? Now, if they gave us that we have 20 articles and they told us that the sum of the first 9 is what? The average of the first 9 is 115. How many articles will it remain? Of course, that will be what? 20 minus 9. Are you getting it? So for this, I'm going to have 20 articles that remain. Articles remaining. The article that remain is what? 20 minus 9. 20 minus 9 is 11. So we are looking for the average cost of an 11 article. Please, I want you to pay attention. Now, to get the average cost of the remaining article, we have to find the sum of all the remaining articles. Are you getting what I'm saying? So don't forget that the remaining articles is what? 11. So the sum, to get the sum of the 11 articles, we have to subtract the total sum of the articles, which is 4,260 from the first 9. So for this, the sum of the remaining articles, which is 11, is equals to what? 4,260 minus 1,035. If you subtract 4,260 minus 1,035, the answer is 3,225. So the sum of the remaining articles is what? 3,225. Now we have gotten the sum. We can proceed to find the average cost now. So the average of the 11 articles is equals to what? The sum, which is 3,225 all over n. N is what? The 11 articles. N is 11 because we are looking for the average of the remaining 11 articles. So I'm going to have 11 in this place. So the average of the remaining articles is equals to, divide 3,225 by 11. The answer is 293. So for this place, we are going to have 293. So the average cost of the remaining article, which is 11 articles, is what? The average of the remaining articles. Average of the remaining articles is what? 293 naira. So the way I solve it. Now we are going to move to question number 3.
The mean age of 10 students is 10 years and 6 months. If the age of 2 of the students is 12 years, 10 months, and 13 years, 6 months, are subtracted from the ages of the 10 students, what will be the mean age of the remaining 8 students?
Okay, the mean age of 10 students is 10 years and 6 months. Okay, the mean age of 10 students is 10 years and 6 months. You understand? Okay, X bar means mean. You understand? Don't forget, from our previous class, I told you that mean is usually represented as X bar. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, let us convert the 6 months into years and then add it to 10 so that we'll be able to compute our answers easily. Are you getting what I'm saying? So if you want to convert 6 months to years, don't forget that 1 year is equals to what? 12 months. So X year is equals to what? 6 months. If you cross multiply, we are going to have X is equals to what? 1 over 2. So which is what? 0.5 years. So 6 months is what? 0.5 years. So for this, I'm going to have 10 years plus 0.5 years. So which is what? 10.5 years. You understand? So I have converted these 10 years and 6 months into only years, which is what? 10.5 years. Now, let us proceed to the second statement, which is what? If the age of the 2 of the students, among these 10 students, the age of the 2 of the students is what? The age of the first student is 12 years and 6 months. Age of the first student. Age of the first student is what? 12 years and 10 months plus 10 months. You understand? And age of the second student age of the second student is 13 years and 6 months. 13 years and 6 months. Now, we are going to do the same thing that we did here. We are going to convert both 12 years and 10 months into only years. So I'm going to use the same approach. If 1 year is equals to 12 months, then X year is equals to what? 10 months. I want to convert this now. The age of the first student among the 10 students. Are you getting what I'm saying? I want to convert the 10 months into years so that I can add it directly to the 12 years to make sure that this is only in years. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have X years will be 10 months. So if you cross multiply, we are going to have X is equals to 10 over 12. So 10 divided by 12, that is 0.8. So 10 months in years is what? 0.8 years. So for this, I'm going to have 12 plus 0.8 years, which is equals to 12.8 years. So the age of the first student among the 10 students is 12.8 years. Now let us convert the age of the second student also. So I'm going to convert these 6 months. I'm going to convert these 6 months into years. So I'm going to have 12 plus, let me put years, 12 years plus 0.5, 13, sorry. This is 13. Please, I want to take note that this is 13. I have 13, this is 13, okay? 13 years plus 0.5 years. This is what? 13.5 years. You understand? So I have converted all the ages into years. Now we can proceed to calculate we can proceed with our calculation now. To get what will be the ages of the remaining students. To get the ages of the remaining students, we first have to calculate the total ages of all the students. I think you understand what I'm saying. The total ages of all the students, we first have to calculate it. After that, we are going to subtract the ages of these two students from it to get the ages of the remaining students. Are you getting it? Now let us calculate the total ages of the students. The total age of the students. The total age of the student can be calculated since we have been given the mean of the total age of the students. We can easily compute the total age of the students by using the formula for mean. Don't forget that mean formula is given by this. X bar is equals to summation x all over n. X bar is the mean, and the mean have already been given. Don't forget the mean of 10 students. The mean of 10 students is what? 10.5 years. Are you getting what I'm saying? The mean age of 10 students is 10.5 years, and the mean has already been given, which is what? 10.5. So is equals to summation x. That is the sum. That is the total. The sum of all the ages of the students all over n, which is 10. Are you getting it? So we can easily calculate the total age of the students. So the mean is what? 10.5. So I'm going to have 10.5 is equals to the sum. Let us represent the total age of the students as let me represent it as maybe y. You understand? Please, I don't want to be confused. I represent it as, okay, let me represent it as t. Okay, so that you won't be confused. The total age of the students is t, and the total age is the sum of all the ages of the students. Are you getting it? So t all over n. N is what? 10, because the total numbers of observation is 10, which is the students. The total numbers of the students is what? 10. So if you cross multiply, t is equals to what? 10 multiplied by 10.5. T is equals to what? 105. So the total age of the students is 105. Now, having getting the total age of the student as 105, the next step is that we have to find the sum of the ages of the two students that was given. Don't forget that if the age of these two students is what? 12 years and 10 months and 13 years and 6 months are subtracted. That is, we first have to find the sum of these ages of these two students, then subtract it from the total. I think you understand. Let me put yes. Yes. we have to find the sum of the ages of these students. So I'm going to have this plus this. 12.8 plus 13.5. 26.3. 26.3 years. Now we can proceed to get the total numbers of the remaining 8 students, the age of the remaining 8 students, by subtracting 105 years from, 26.3 years from 105 years. And if you subtract that, you are going to get 78.7. So, age of the 8 students, age of 8 students is equals to what? 105 years minus 26.3 years. If you punch your calculator, you are going to get 78.7. So the age of the 8 students is what? 78.7 years. Now, don't forget, we are not looking for the age of the students. Age of the 8 students. We are looking for the mean age of the 8 students. So, in order to get the mean age of the 8 students, we can easily divide 78.7 by the total numbers, by the remaining 8 students, which is what? 78.7 over 8, according to the formula for mean. Do you understand? Now, we can find the mean age of the 8 students by using the main formula. Don't forget that the mean age of the 8 students, let me put it, 8 students is equals to the total age of the 8 students, which is 78.7. 78.7 all over n. N is 8 because we are looking for the mean age of the 8 students. 78.7 divided by 8, that will give us 9.8. So 9.84 years. So we have gotten the mean age of the 8 students. However, we can still proceed to convert it to years and months. Don't forget that our question was given in years and months. The age of each student is given in years and months. So in order to do that, since we have gotten the mean age of the 8 students as 9.84, we will just have to multiply. This can be 9.84 can be written as what? Can be written as 9 years plus 0.84 years. Do you understand? 9 years plus 0.84 years. This 9.84 can be written as this. So in order to convert this 0.84 to months, we are going to multiply 0.84 by 12. And you can proceed as this. If 12 months is equals to 1 year. You understand? X months will be equals to what? 0.84 years. So 0.84, this is 0.84 years. So X is what? 12 multiplied by 0.84. So that's how I got, you can multiply this to get the month. And if you multiply 0.84 by 12, you are going to get, that will be 9 years. The age of the 9 years and 0.84 multiplied by 12, that is 10 months. So the age of the 8 students, the mean age of the 8 students is what? 9 years and 10 months.
The ages of Abu, Shegun, Kofi, Fome are 17 years, 2x minus 13 years, 14 years and 16 years respectively. What is the value of X if their mean age is
17.5 years? Don't forget that we have been given the mean age as what? 17.5 years. And I told you that mean is represented as what? X bar. So X bar is equal to what? 17.5 years. So to find the value of X, we can easily use the formula of mean. So don't forget that X bar is what? Summation X all over n. And summation X is the sum of all the numbers, while n is the total numbers of observation. From this question, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have numbers of observation is what? 4. That is the numbers of students, numbers of the ages of the students. And summation X summation x, we have not been given summation x. Are you getting it? So to get summation x, we are going to add all the ages of the student. Are you getting it? So summation x is the sum of all the ages of the student. So I'm going to have 17 plus into brackets 2x minus 13 plus into, oh sorry, no bracket here, plus 14 plus 16. So we can easily calculate by substituting all this value into this place. Are you getting it? We can get the value of x by substituting n equals to 4 and summation x as this into this and substituting mean as 17.5. So I'm going to have mean, which is 17.5, is equals to the sum of all this. So I'm going to have 17 plus 2x minus 13 plus 14 plus 16 plus 14 plus 16 all over n. N is what? N is 4. So 17 plus 14 plus 16, that is 47. 47 is 47 plus 2x minus 13 is equals to 4 multiplied by 17.5. You understand? So I cross multiply. So this goes to this and this comes to this side. You understand? So let's proceed. 47, I can open the bracket. 47 plus 2x minus 13 is equals to 4 multiplied by 17.5. That is 70. So the value here is 70. So you can connect like terms. That is, we are going to have 47 minus 13 plus 2x is equals to 70. So 47 minus 13. 47 minus 13 is 34. So I'm going to have 34 plus 2x is equals to 70. 2x is equals to 70. If this 34 is causing the equals to sign, that will be minus 34, negative 34. So 2x is equals to 70 minus 34. That is 36. So x, divide both sides by 2. X is what? X is 18. So the value of x is 18.
Question 5. 20 girls and Y boys sat for an examination. The mean mark obtained by the girls and boys were 62 and 57 respectively. If the total score for both girls and boys was 202,950, find the value of y.
Solution. So total numbers, total girls is what? 20, and the total boys is what? Y. Okay, now the mean of girls is what? 62. The mean value for the scores of girls in the examination is 62. So let me represent it as x bar. The x bar of girls, the mean of girls is what? 62. And the mean of boys is what? The mean of boys is 57. So let me represent it as 57. Now, if the total scores is what? 2,950, the total scores is equals to 2,950. Find the value of y. Now, I want you to pay attention. We have been given that the total girls is what? The total numbers of girls that take part in the examination is what? 20. And the mean of girls in the examination is what? The mean of their scores. The mean of the 20, the mean of the scores of the 20 students, of the 20 girls is what? 62. Now, if I want to calculate the value of y, the value of y is the total numbers of boys. I have to first determine the scores of the boys in the examination. I get what I'm saying? The total scores for the boys in the examination, I have to first determine it. You understand what I'm saying? So to determine the total scores of the boys in the examination, I have to also determine the total scores for the girls in the examination. So that is what I'm going to be calculating now. The total scores for the girls. The total scores for girls. That will be summation x. Summation x, the summation x is the sum of all the scores for the girls. That is the total scores. Since I've been given that the main value of girls is what? 62. So I can say that the main value is equal to what? Summation x all over n. So the main of girls is what? The main mark of the girls is 62. So I'm going to have 62 is equal to summation x. Don't forget that the summation x is the sum of the scores of all the girls, and that is total. The total scores for the girls. Let me represent it as TG all over n. N is the total numbers of girls. The total numbers of girls is what? 20. So I'm going to have 20. So the total scores for the girls, which is TG, is equal to what? 62 multiplied by 20. If you punch your calculator, you are going to get 1240. So for this, I'm going to have 1240. So the total scores for the girls is 1240. Having known the total scores for the girls, I can easily determine the total scores for the boys by subtracting 1240 from what? 2950. And the total score for boys, I represent it as TSB. Total score for boys is equals to the total score, which is what? 2950 minus 1240. If you punch your calculator, you are going to get 1710. You understand? So this is the total score for boys. Now, we can easily calculate the value of y, because we have been given the mean value of the scores for boys. The mean value for the score for boys is what? 57. So I can easily use the formula for average, which is mean, to calculate the value of y by saying that the mean value for boys, S bar for boys, is equals to summation x all over n. Don't forget that the main value of boys is 57. So I'm going to have 57 is equals to summation x. The sum of the total score for boys is 1710. So I'm going to have 1710 all over n. N is the total numbers of boys, and total boys is what? Y. So I'm going to have all over y. So the value of y is what? 57y, if you cross multiply, is equals to 1710. Divide both sides by 57. So I'm going to have y is equals to, this will cancel this, and this will cancel this. So I'm going to have y is equals to 30. So the total numbers of boys, which is the value of y, is what? 30 boys. So in that examination, we are having 20 girls and 30 boys.
Median refers to the middle number when the values in our data set is arranged in an ascending order. This implies that when we arrange our data set in an order of increment, the middle number therefore is the median number. In order to determine the middle number, there are two formulas that we can use. The first formula is used when the total numbers of our data set is odd. Then we can make use of n plus 1 all over 2, the term that falls in between. That will be the median number. Are you getting it? Okay, the second formula is used when the total numbers of our data set is even. Are you getting it? We can make use of this formula if the total numbers of our data set is even. Okay, let's proceed to some work example on median.
Let's find the median of the following data. Don't forget, the first step is that we are going to arrange the data in an ascending order. Let's start with question number 1. Okay, now let's arrange this data in an ascending order. We have the least one is 0, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no 5, so I put 6, 10, and 10. So I have arranged this data in an ascending order. Now, in order to determine the median term, we have two formulas. This is the first formula, n plus 1 all over 2. This is the first formula. And this is the second formula, n over 2 plus n over 2 plus 1, let me put this in brackets, and also this also in brackets, all over 2. This is the second formula to determine the median term. Now look at this. This formula is used when the total numbers of elements in our data set is odd. You understand? When the total element in our data set is odd, we make use of this formula. And this formula, which is the second formula, is used when the total element in our data set is even. You understand? Now let us proceed. Let's count this element to know the formula that we are going to use among these. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I want to ask you, is 7 an odd number or an even number? Yeah, 7 is an odd number. So I'm going to use this formula to determine my median term. Now let us proceed. Using this formula, we have, since n is equal to what? 7, which is the total numbers of elements in the data set, I can proceed to use this formula by just substituting the value of n as 7. So the median term is equals to n plus 1 all over 2, which is equals to what? 7 plus 1 all over 2. 7 plus 1 all over 2. So 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 over 2 is 4. So the fourth term is my median. Now let's go back to our data set. We have, this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. So therefore the median of this data set is 3. You understand? The median of the data set is 3, because according to the median formula, when the total number of my element is odd, I make use of this formula and I substitute the value of 7 and I get fourth term. So the fourth term among my data set is what? 3. So the median term of this data is what? 3. So we have gotten the first answer. Now let us proceed to the second question. Let's find the median of question number 2. The first step is that we are going to arrange all the data sets in an ascending order. Data set, that is 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 15, and 18. So I have arranged the data set in an ascending order. The next step is that we are going to determine the total numbers of our data set to know the median formula that we are going to use. As I told you that we have two median formula. The first median formula is used when the numbers of our data set is odd, which is this. The second median formula is used when the numbers of our data set is even. So now let us know the numbers of our data set by counting all the data set. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is an even number. Therefore, I'm going to use the second formula. Do you understand? Let's assume that 8 is an odd number. I'm still going to use the first formula. Are you getting it? So since 8 is an even number, that is the total numbers of my data set. I'm going to use the second formula. Now I'm going to substitute the value of n as 8. N is equals to 8. So let us substitute the value of n. So I'm going to have 8 all over 2 plus 8 all over 2 plus 1. Let me put th. All over 2. You understand? 8 divided by 2, that is 4. The fourth plus 8 divided by 2, that is 4, plus 1. If you add 8 divided by 2 plus 1, okay, I didn't put th. 8 divided by 2, that is 4. 4 plus 1, that is 5. So this place will be 5. 5. 4 plus 5 term, all over 2. You understand? Okay, so I have gotten to this place. The next step is that I'm going to go to the data set that I've already arranged in an ascending order, which is this data set. I'm going to look for the fourth term. You understand? This is the first term, second term, third term, and the fourth term. So I'm going to have 9 plus the fifth term. The fifth term is what? 11. So I'm going to add 11 all divided by 2. So 9 plus 11 is 9 plus 11 is 20. So 20 divided by 2 is equals to 10. So the median of this data set is 10. The median for this data set is 10. You understand? So question number, let's the median of the third question. The first step is that we are going to arrange this data set in an ascending order. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have 1, 3, 4, 4, no, not 8. That's 7. The next number is 7, 8, 8. You understand? I've already arranged the data set in an ascending order. The next step is that I'm going to count the numbers of my data set to know the median formula that I'm going to use. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since the total numbers of the data set is odd, because 7 is an odd number, you understand? So I'm going to use the first formula, which says that n plus 1 over 2. So let's proceed. N plus 1 all over 2. So n is 7. So I'm going to have 7 plus 1 all over 2. That is 8 over 2. 8 over 2 is 4. So the fourth term among my data set will be the median term. Are you getting it? So let's check. This is the first term, second term, third term, and the fourth term. So the median is what? 4. You understand? So the median of the data set is what? 4. You understand? So let's proceed to the fourth question. Okay, let's find the median of the fourth question. The first step is that we are going to arrange this data set in an ascending order. Are you getting it? So the least element is 0. So I'm going to have 0. After that, another 0, followed by 1, followed by another 1, followed by 2, followed by another 2. Then I have another 2 here, followed by 3. Then another 3. So I have arranged this data set in an ascending order. The next step is that I'm going to count the total numbers of data set to know the median formula that I'm going to use. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see that 9 is an odd number. You understand what I'm saying? 9 is an odd number. So if I told you that if the total numbers of data set is odd, this is the formula that we're going to use. That is n plus 1 all over 2. N plus 1 all over 2. So, using this, n is 9. So, I'm going to have 9 plus 1 all over 2. 9 plus 1 is 10. So, I'm going to have 10 over 2. 10 over 2 is what? 5. So, the fifth term among my data set will be the median term. Now let us count. This is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, this is the fourth term, and this is the fifth term. So 2 is my median number. You understand? So the median for the data set here is what? 2. Now I want you to attempt this question number 5.
Let's talk about the mode. The mode of a data set is the values that have the highest numbers of frequency among the data set. This implies that the values among our data set that occurs most, that is the mode of such data set. Now let's have some work example on the mode. Calculate the mode of the following data.
Solution. To make it easier to determine the mode, let's arrange our data set in an ascending order. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have 1 for the first question. Another one is here. Another one is here. Then I have 1, 2. Let me cancel the one that I'm already written. Then I've already written 2 also. So I have 3. So I have 4. Now, then 5. I have another 5. Then 6. So I have already arranged this data set in an ascending order. So don't forget that mode is the most occurring numbers among our data set. The number that has the highest occurring value. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is the mode. As you can see here, we have 1 occur in 3 times, and 2 occurs only a single time, 3 occurs in one time, 4 one time, 5 occurs 2 times, 6 and 7 occurs 1 time. So the mode of this data is 1 because 1 is the most occurring number. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what? 1. The mode is 1. So let's check number 2. This is question number 1. So let's first arrange the data set in an ascending order so as to make it easy to compute the mode. So the least value among this data set is 4. You understand? So I'm going to have 4. Is there any other 4? There is none. So I have 5, followed by 5, followed by 5. Is there any other 5? There's another 5. Followed by 6, followed by 7, followed by 8. There is no 8. What of 9? There is 9. What of 10? There is no 10. 11. Followed by 12. Followed by 15. Followed by 18. So I've already arranged this data set in an ascending order. The number that has the highest numbers of occurrence, that will be the mode. Are you getting it? So if you check, this is the value among my data set that has the highest numbers of occurrence. Every other values occurs only a single time, but 5 occurs twice. You understand what I'm saying? So the mode of this data set is 5. So for this, I'm going to have 5. Question number 3. Find the mode of this data set. Let us first arrange this data set in an ascending order. The least number among this data set is what? 1. So I'm going to have 1, followed by 2, 1, followed by 2, followed by 2, followed by 2. Okay. After that, do I have 3, followed by 3, 3, then 4. What of 5? There is one 5 here. 6, 6, 7, 8, 8. Then, sorry, I mean 8 followed by 10. You understand? So now I want to check what is the mode of this data. Yeah, the mode of the data is 2 because 2 is the number and 2 is the values among this data set that have the highest numbers of occurrence because it occurs 3 times among our data set. So 2 is the mode of this data. So the mode of this data is 2. You understand? So that is how to get the mode of an ungrouped data. Now let us proceed to some past question.
Okay, let's have other work example. These are questions that I gathered from past question. As you can see, we have NAPTEP 2009 question 29. What is the mode of the scores below? We have NECO 2009 question 54. The data below are the ages of set of pupils. What is their mode? And also, we have NAPTEP 2009 question 29. The type of average that shows the most popular item is. You have to choose. Okay, let's solve.
Now let's solve. Let's start with question number 1. Solution. Don't forget that mode is the most occurring numbers among our data set. Are you getting what I'm saying? So if you look at this data set, you can see that 5 is the most occurring number. You can see that 5, we have 3 5 here, and we have 2 5 here. So the mode of this data is what? 5. But however, if you didn't understand, you can first arrange the data set in an ascending order. So you can easily get your mode. But for me now, I'm already expert in this aspect. So I can easily determine my mode without even arranging in an ascending order. You understand what I'm saying? I put that there so as to enhance the simplicity so that you can understand very well. You understand what I'm saying? So the mode of this data is what? The mode of the data is 5 because we have 3 5 here and 2 5 here, and 3 plus 2, that is 5. So the mode of the data is 5. You understand? Okay, let us get the mode of this of the second question. The mode of the second question, don't forget that mode is the most occurring numbers among our data set. So to get the mode, I would like to arrange this I would like to arrange this in an ascending order first. So the least numbers among this value is 6. So 6. This is for question number 2. Question number 2. So 6. Another one, 6. So followed by 7. Another 7. Another 7. Another 7. Followed by 8. So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, followed by 9. So I have one 9 here. 9, 9, it's also 9. This one also 9. For this 9, 9. You understand? So followed by 10. So 1 10. 10. Is there another 10? I have another one here. 10. Then followed by 11. So I have arranged the data in an ascending order. So let us determine the values among the data sets that have the most occurring numbers. Are you get what I'm saying? That occurs most among our data sets. 7 occurs, 6 occurs 2 times. 7 occurs 4 times. 8 occurs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 8s. 8 occurs 6 times. And 9 occur 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 10 occurs 2 times, and 11 occurs only a single time. So the mode of this data set is 8 because that is the most occurring value among the data set. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is the values among data set that has the highest numbers of occurrence. So 8 is the among the ages of these students, 8 is the mode. Why? Because it is the only value that occurs it is the only value that occurs most among our data set. So the third question says the type of average that shows the most popular term is. Now I want to answer that. Don't forget that I told you that mean means average, and median is the middle number, and mode is the most occurring value. Now the question now says the type of average that shows the most popular term among our data set is known as what? Yeah, the answer is mode, because from the definition of mode is the most occurring value among our data set. Thank you very much. Stay tuned on this channel. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, kindly react by giving me a feedback.